Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Success Stories of Students. Today, we have got normally like I am speaking, I have team members speaking, but today I've invited my students who have been really, really successful, and they have been with us some for 2 years, some for more than that, some even for 1 year, and we want to share their stories with all of you. I can see some viewers also joining in. Hi, Lakshit. Hope you're doing well. And I can see a lot of our students also coming. I can see Rashmi has got into Cambridge. We have got Dhawal with us, who's got into IE Business School. Tanya, she cracked TU Delft, which is a top university. Manan got into UBC, and Anand, I think, would be joining in sometime. Oh, Anand, you're already here. Great, great. So welcome all of you, and yeah, Vijit is also there with me. Hi Yashi, you're a regular. I think a lot of my regular students are here. Yashi Jain, I'm good. I hope you are also good and you played Holi also. Like it's important to play Holi. Rajni Sinha, hi. Swati Mishra, I know you're not Swati Mishra, but you're using your mom's ID. Flame, hi. How are you doing? So great. So let's get into this thing and just a quick comment before we start and we start taking feedback from students. So a quick, I would request everyone to switch on their cameras. So let people see your faces, see the successful faces. Yes, that's how it is. Hi Tanya, Dhawal. Great, great. So first of all, thanks for coming here. Thanks for joining us uh, in this evening and agreeing to share with the student about how did you build it up, how did you build up your profiles, how did you compete, finally to land at top institutes all over the world. Yeah, people amongst here we have got people who have got Canada, Germany, UK, Spain, and so on, and of course. I have students who have cracked beyond this also, and people looking at Australia, Netherlands, France, and so on. So, one thing what I want to share with everyone is like, I'm sure people who are watching, some of you are still in school, some might be in very junior, some of you might be very young, some might be older. So, my this thing to you is whatever you see later on, do you see people being successful? The effort, the endeavor starts pretty early on in life. It means ability to digest content, reading habits, ability to write, ability to present, ability to do hard work, being a professional, so professional outlook. So you need to master some basic tenets to get good admits and finally get a good career, good job, good money, and so on. So, any students who are listening to us, step by step, please understand. Also, now, like Google has Google Digital Garage. So, if you're in a school, maybe even in eighth class, ninth class, you can start using Google Digital Garage. Even for some graduate students, it will be useful. And we have so many other things which are available today online, which can help you propping up. You need to keep yourself motivated. Watch things like TED Talks. Watch Josh Talks. Listen to good people who are sharing good ideas about how to build up your life, how to manage your time, how to, because we all are going through a time where I would say the environment is giving us a lot of stress. Yeah, and the students today you see here, they all cracked it despite so many things happening. Corona was happening, exams had shifted, online, no timelines, households issues, but still, these students they were successful. So quickly, I'll just take inputs from one student right now, and then we'll move on, and I'll let Vijit take charge. But quickly, Manan, if you can share how you have been going and what happened, like step by step, how did you build up your profile? How did you crack UBC? I mean, it's a top university in Canada.
Yeah, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes, so I started my journey, I think, during the end of 2020. Uh, it all started with a simple 1 hour session where they explained what they would do for us. And I was really interested because at that point I had no knowledge about the universities, the courses they offer.
Who is this
They
they?
offer.
Manan, they means?
I'm sorry.
You were saying they explained to us.
Oh, the Jitin Chawla's team. Right.
Okay, okay.
So uh, I then enrolled there for my profile building at first. where I met, I think, Shivya ma'am and Shagun ma'am, which immensely helped me in bringing all the opportunities uh, and making my profile stronger according to my major, which was in business management. So everything from internships to research opportunities to social work. Uh, and ultimately, at the end of the year, uh, I was able to have a very strong profile. After which, I began with my application process, through which Shilpa ma'am, uh, Bhavna ma'am, Vijit sir as well, has helped me a lot with the essays, uh, letting me at first deciding the universities and the courses that I wanted to pursue, because it's a very stressful to choose what course you want to go for. And especially for business schools, the top business schools that I wanted to get in had a separate supplemental application for which we had to put in the extra effort. And thanks to them, I was able to ace both the applications, and now I got admitted to Sauder School of Business and Schulich as well.
Great, great. That's amazing, amazing. Tell us more about yourself. Like, what other activities you like? What are your hobbies? Where are you from? Which school? Tell the audience everything about you.
Yes. So I'm from Delhi. I'm 17 years old right now. I'll be 18 in July. And I'm from DPS Dwarka. Initially, I was in Balbhati. I shifted in 11th grade. So it was a very new environment. I still adapted well, I believe. And I'm mostly into, I mean, there's nothing that I excel in, but I like spending my time listening to music, watching shows,
What kind of
or
music do you listen to? BTS.
no, no. I support all BTS fans, but it's just not something I listen to. Uh, I prefer to listen to pop or rock, especially old rock music. But yeah, otherwise, I'm also into quizzing a lot. So I'm in my school's quizzing club, and always look for opportunities online to quiz, and it's just something I enjoy a lot.
Amazing, amazing. Vijit, all yours. Please take it forward.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's so wonderful to see all of you
Vijit,
together.
your voice is very low. Can you speak a bit louder? We are
Yeah,
not
yeah.
able to hear. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. It's very good to see all of you, and not just you guys. It's good to see everybody who is tuning in as well. So we want this to be a fairly open-ended session. I don't want to kind of go on a explanation tirade as I do when I'm discussing applications or profiles. Let's keep it fairly open-ended because all of you here are coming from different specializations, different backgrounds, and are also going to very different destinations, right? Because we have Dhaval here, who will be going to Spain, Rashmi, who will be going to England, Tanya, who will be going to the Netherlands, Anhad, who will be probably going to the US or Canada, and Manan, who will probably be going to the Canada or Netherlands, right? So good that we have students who from different walks of life with the very different profiles and who have worked with us at different stages, right? Because just to give the viewers some context, whereas we've been working with, for example, Manan from more than a year now. Anhad is somebody who joined us fairly recently in the process, right? When we were working on applications. So it's wonderful to have all of you here, and I would like to take on some preemptive questions that I'm expecting people to ask, and then we can of course take a deep dive into each of you, right? So the first person I'd like to talk to is Dhaval. Dhaval, for everybody here, Dhaval has got into IE Business School, which is fantastic for masters in management. It is, I would say, the top two business schools in Spain, if not the best one, and again has a very good success rate in terms of giving placements in the European job market. And Dhaval's profile is also very unique, right? Because technically, typically, you understand for non-UK masters and in MIMs and so on and so forth, you do need a good GMAT score, right? That is a requirement that European universities kind of impose. But Dhaval, of course, did the smart thing. Instead of going for the GMAT, which is a more comprehensive, well-rounded, of difficult test, he took the IE specific test, right? I think the IEGAT, and that kind of carried forward the admission process for him. So, Dhaval, why don't you describe in terms of what this process was like and some things that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me. First of all, the IGAT was quite different from the GMAT. Like in that sense, the difficulty of the paper was not that high. However, you had to focus on the time management aspect because there were a lot of questions, like 35 plus questions in one specific section. Like for example, for maths, You have 35, 36 questions, and you just have 10 minutes time. So, and there is negative marking for each wrong answer. So for that, you have to place focus on the correct question, the correct answer which you mark, not go for the quantity but rather the quality, which will in turn give you more marks. Because if you go for the quantity, you will eventually get negative marks if you are wrong. So that was the first thing that you need to keep in mind while giving that exam. Also, the second thing is that you need to have a quiet environment, and you need to be very quick on your like you have to have very quick thinking. Because at times you can get overwhelmed by the amount of questions that you don't have any time. And
Hmm.
if you mess up your previous section, there are 6 sections in total. The first one is English one, the second is maths one, the third and fourth are logical reasoning, the fifth is quick algebra, like quick simple maths, and the sixth one is like a different sort of a section wherein they give you emails and you have to sort it out. It's a very different type of a test which I had taken before. So the one thing also is not to get overwhelmed by the test, because if you mess up your previous section, like you think that I made a mistake in the previous section, like for me it happened, like I misread a passage and I thought that I had made a mistake, so I had messed up my English section. So the thing is not to get overwhelmed by it. Just focus on the next section, which I did ultimately, and
Yeah.
eventually your paper will go very good.
Yeah. And Dhaval, one more thing I'd ask you, and again, Tanya, I'd also want to ask you the same question. Because both of you are choosing, and again, we have obviously guided you through the process in terms of why, but I would want you to share your own perspectives. Is that you've chosen kind of not the most conventional countries for education, right? Because if we think the conventional countries are the US, Australia, and UK, probably Canada, you both have kind of taken more unique pathways, right? So, Dhaval, to start off with you again, why Spain? Like, why IE Business School? Why Spain? What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to? What were your decision-making factors as you decided, as you kind of finalized on this?
Okay, so I chose I because I researched about the school, their faculty, and what the alumni are doing, and I was very impressed by it. Because they have a great focus on entrepreneurship, and they have a very strong masters in management course. So it was one of my top choices to get into. I did not choose US, UK, or Canada because again I thought that they were conventional paths, and like I wanted to go somewhere where it would be different. I wanted to gain entry into the European life, right? And for that also, for that specifically, I had my focus on either France or Spain. So that is why I chose this school.
Very good. All right, to kind of to for the audience and you guys to kind of structure this. For the next 20 minutes, I'll be speaking to you, presenting my questions, taking the audience questions, and then after 5:30, we'll do some generic presentation on like our reading admits and things like that, right? Tanya, the same question to you. And again, Netherlands, of course, a very unique destination, excellent and outstanding for from a research perspective. Like some of the world's best research happens in the Netherlands, right? And again, for everybody who's tuning in, Tanya is also going for a very unique course options, right? Kind of the admits that she's got in sustainable, renewable energy, and so on. So Tanya, again, first question is why? Why Netherlands? Why not the conventional destinations? What is primarily attracting you to these countries?
Okay, to be very honest, I did not go for US because of the education system. I am in my bachelor's right now. So I was supposed to take 1 year gap in order to get into the US colleges. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry if there's some disturbance.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, okay. And then Rahul sir helped me with the universities in Europe, and I realized that the countries I was looking in Europe, they are very much aware about the field I am going into, that is sustainability. There is much more awareness, and all of you must know that
So
these
Rahul
countries.
kind of played an instrumental role in showcasing the colleges to
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
yes. And as you know that these countries are into cleanliness and on much more than the other countries.
that's
And
true.
why I chose Netherlands, that's the same reason, because I checked Delft and it was a great university for me, and I kind of fit into it, and all the profile that Shikha ma'am was there for me. She helped me made my profile stronger, and I was matching to that university. That's why I chose Delft.
Yeah. Oh, so you're choosing Delft. So again, for some context, Tanya got into I think two of the top three again in the Netherlands, right? In terms of Eindhoven and Delft. All right, so you're going with Delft, right? Very, very well done. So, and again, just to shed some light into how admissions happen, and all of you have, of course, experienced that, and so many of our viewers are also, is that we send in applications one after one, right? When we're preparing all the material, everything is done. So we plan to send all applications between, like, 2 to 3 weeks. So for Tanya, we were sending those applications, and after a month, I think, of us sending the first application, or after 2 to 3 weeks, we got an admit from one university, which was, I think, Eindhoven. Tanya, which one did we get first? Eindhoven, right? So then we were like, we've gotten such a good admit that the only universities that make sense to apply after this are like only these two, three. So we didn't even have to apply to other universities because we had already gotten a very good admit. I love how it pans out that way. I will get back to you, Tanya, but I would also like to speak with Rashmi. Uh, for everyone, Rashmi has gotten accepted into Cambridge, right? Which is absolutely fantastic, and she's gotten accepted in for a master's in philosophy course, and MPhil course, a very research centric course. So Rashmi, how are you feeling? And again, what is the advice that you would like to give so many of the viewers who would want to kind of walk the same path as you and go in the same trajectory?
First of all, I would be like thanking you for inviting me to this meeting, and secondly, that it took me like 2 3 days to like believe that I was selected in Cambridge, because it's like
Yeah.
everybody gives their application, but nobody thinks that they'll be selected in that university. So basically, my experience is that I was mostly into the academic side. There were no extracurricular activities or anything which I had, but Jitin sir and his team helped me to build my profile, have some internships, make a research paper published, make a website, and etc. So, and even like help me to like give exams and make the application and make the SOPs which would help me get selected. So basically that's that, and I'm honestly thankful for that.
Yeah, yeah. And what are you looking forward to? Just that, like, what are you looking forward to? Research, any research topics, or anything that you want to do want to do in England? Because again, these are some things that you always think about when you're applying.
Mainly, I selected this course, Economic and Social History, because I wanted to continue doing research in economics. And I have not honestly decided on the topics which I want to, but with the course, I might understand in what stream I'm interested in and then do research in that.
Yeah, again, I think that's always a very good idea, right? Because before you go for your masters, to kind of keep it open ended and just explore what different professors are reading, what different professors are researching, and then of course, develop your specialization in terms of who you sync with, who you bond with.
Exactly. I just
Another,
wanted to keep
yeah,
my options open and
exactly. Especially when you go into a place like Cambridge, where everybody is, doing such distinguished research, such wonderful research.
very
Anhad,
true.
onto you. You are again one of the two undergraduate applicants here, and again, like just for everyone, Anand is one of the more, and actually both Manan and Anand, right? Very wonderful people to work with. Have a good level of maturity as compared to a typical 17 to 18-year-old when you think of working with them, right? So Anand, I want you to talk about something very specific, right? I'm sure that you've also heard this through your life. Is that people mostly say that you should kind of do your undergraduate degree in India and only start looking abroad once you finish that UG degree. I guess this narrative is changing, but this is kind of the dominant way of how Indians think. To everyone listening, this is also reflected in the admissions that Indian students do. That the graduate admissions would be about 3 times or 4 times more than the UG admissions from India to abroad, right? So Anand, what I want to understand from you is why did you kind of go the unconventional way, or why did you take the road less traveled in terms of wanting to go out at the UG level itself?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. And to answer your question, actually, I have been doing IGCSE curriculum or the recently IBDB curriculum, and the exposure that I've had wasn't very, in sync with how CBSE and ISC work. So since I've already, been well acquainted with like the outside curriculum, I thought it would be best to just follow that path. And my parents were quite on board with that. From sixth
Yeah.
grade itself, it was quite decided that I would pursue my education outside. Luckily, I had an older sibling. She did her undergrad in India, and she gave me the guidance and exposure to maybe I should take it a step up and go abroad. So that's where the idea initially started from, and I guess it was a decision made in the very beginning to take the unconventional road.
Yeah. And what are you looking forward to? I think that you said that the decision was made fairly early. But if we ask you to quantify it in terms of saying 4 to 5 points about, okay, the decision was made fairly early and these were the 4 to 5 reasons, what would you kind of say that they would be?
I would say that, of course, opportunities wise, it's obviously a lot better there. But also, once you Google, let's say Google top universities in the world. I mean, you see the 100, and in India, you don't really find anything. I mean, of course, Indian universities are excellent in their own way, and SRCs and everything incredible. But I just would love to go outside. I think I generally want to pursue my education outside, and you probably find like a job and everything outside. So I think it's even that's how my narrative has been, and the my classmates around me and everyone, they've also been quite driven to go abroad. So I think that atmosphere that surrounds you when people have decided that they want to go somewhere specific. I think it was mainly the atmosphere, and of course, then when my grades started coming in, I started building a profile, and it was quite. I mean, it was not very intentional. I was just very into sports, so that kind of really helped me build a profile on its own. And then I had counseling sessions with you guys, and I even spoke to my other friends and realized that it's a decent enough profile for me to go outside. So that's how I actually, in middle of 11th grade, I decided that yes, I think I would like to pursue just Bahar, like US and Canada.
All right. Very, very interesting. All right. Manan, you're going for business management, and as you said that you've cracked some of the best schools. Like in Canada, you have cracked, I guess, two of the very good ones, Sauder and Skullick. So, what I want to understand is why business management? Because like you're fairly young right now, and you did say that your interests are not that well quantified. It's just you have a curiosity about these different fields. So, why business management abroad? What are you kind of aspiring to do? What do you want feel like accomplishing through this degree?
Yeah, so management is something that excites me a lot. When I shifted my school, my old school did not have a lot of clubs and opportunities like that. But once I shifted, I was introduced to not only my schools clubs, but also so many inter-school opportunities, and they all had different kind of simulation events where you had to manage something or anything finance related, and I was always intrigued by them, always participated in them, even won a sum. Uh, then later on in 12th, I took over some clubs, which involves management as well. So my stream usually involved the same thing, and it is something uh, which I decided to take on for higher studies. And in Canada, because there's a lot of flexibility with this course, you don't have to commit to a particular field just yet. A lot of
Exactly.
specializations in business management. So outside the opportunities are a lot, especially in the
Yeah.
universities that I've cracked yet. I will have time to decide till year 2 or year 3 which specific specialization I have to take up. So I think it's very flexible course. Plus, I have great interest in it, and therefore I decided to take it up.
Yeah. And I think to everybody listening, right, to everybody who's planning to apply probably this year or something, the one overriding, you do see a few overriding themes and in terms of this very open-ended discussion, right? The first, of course, is kind of doing the unconventional thing or to taking the road less traveled, not doing the most that whatever is being done by people of your age. And the second is opening up more and more options for yourself, right? Because very often what people think that career counseling or career guidance is to kind of narrow down the focus and focus only on one thing. But what I believe is very often the objective of career counseling is to equip and empower students enough with the hard and soft skills that they can open opportunities, that they can make the most of opportunities open to them, and like take a broad approach from that. So we'll do a few rapid fire questions, and same question goes to everybody. I think the screen is the same. Let's start the first in alphabetical order, right? Anand, you're first. Dhaval, you're second. Figure it out. Yeah. So what is the one thing that you're most, and again, this does not have to be a very direct academic answer. I want you guys to have fun. Like these are people your age viewing this thing, right? So what is the thing that you're most looking forward to from your education abroad? Anand.
From an education point.
Yeah, from your education abroad. What is the one thing you're looking
Oh,
forward to the
okay.
most?
I mean, I was gonna say setting up my dormitory, but if you
Interesting.
talk
Yeah.
education, I think yeah, that's my number one actually. Setting
Yeah,
up.
setting up your dormitory. Very nice. Dhaval.
For me, it would be actually having the experience to stay away from home for the first time.
Very interesting. Yeah. Good. Manan.
For me, it would be meeting new people from different nationalities and learning about them, getting along with them.
Yeah. Rashmi?
For me, it will be to socialize a bit
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
new people, basically.
100%. Tanya?
For me, it would be firstly being independent and also joining several societies and clubs that I couldn't in my college.
All right. Let's go reverse now. What is the one thing that you're most apprehensive or worried about? You know, that, oh, I'll have to, like, what is the biggest challenge that you see you'll be facing? Tanya?
I think homesickness, I would be missing home and my parents.
Yeah. Rashmi?
I think, first of all, staying alone and in a place where I practically know nobody.
Yeah. Fair enough. Manan?
I think it's the same
Same
homesickness for
thing.
me.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Dhaval?
My dog.
Oh, yes. Why not? Why not? 100%. For sure. Anand, are you afraid of something?
Yeah, maybe not having enough money because your parents are here, but like
All
money,
right.
bro.
I think that is the best answer. Again, starting from Anhad, future plans, long-term plans. After finishing this degree, couple of you are going for your bachelor's, three of you are going for your master's. After finishing your degree, three options: staying in India, okay, staying abroad, coming back to India, or going wherever the best opportunity is. Anhad, what about you?
I'd stay abroad,
Stay
definitely.
abroad. Dhaval,
I'd stay abroad.
Manan.
Uh, Wherever the best opportunity is, which is most probably abroad itself, once you've studied bachelor's there.
I well can't disagree. Rashmi,
Yeah, the third option only where the best opportunity is. Can be India, abroad, anything.
yeah, Tanya.
Study abroad, stay abroad.
All right, perfect. Wonderful to see how many people are here are contributing to the brain drain. But yeah, again, like I can see myself in your shoes, and I cannot disagree with whatever you're saying. All right, last rapid fire question. Again, starting from Tanya. Your best and most productive part of the engagement with the Center for Career Development yet?
I think
Whatever you
when I
enjoyed
was,
the most. Yeah,
yeah, it was the internship opportunities I was given. I mean, I wouldn't be free for a while. That I always had something on my plate to do, and it was
can you
good
describe
for
it
me.
more? Like, where did you intern? What work did you do? Yeah,
Firstly, I interned at graphic designing companies because I wanted not only to be field specific but also
of
do
course
things that
you
I
should.
enjoy.
Yeah,
Secondly, the thing I loved the most was making a automatic solar tracker. I did this course and they sent me kit and I had to build it up all by myself. It was really engaging. And thirdly is I think which I consider my greatest achievement till now is that I got my research paper published. And
yeah.
yeah,
Fantastic, fantastic. Rashmi, what about you? Your most memorable or best engagement with us, part of engagement with us?
Sort of the same answer about my internship and getting my research paper published. My internship
Yeah.
at yeah, Project Bala, because I got to
Hmm.
write a lot about women and their problems and the things that we can't speak in public, and like making people aware of that, and my research paper getting published in
Yeah,
that's
you're very good.
these two.
Very good. Yeah. Manan?
Mine was starting and building upon my own social project.
Yeah.
I was
Talk
immensely
about it.
helped
Yeah.
by, yeah, so it
Yeah,
is
yeah. What was the
basically,
project about? What all did you do?
yeah, so it's about basically communication tips. I love English, even all the literature, the grammar, everything, school related, everything otherwise. So therefore, this topic was chosen by me, and Shivya ma'am and Shagun ma'am helped me so much with building my own curriculum, taking it forward to various NGOs and working with them. So I think that was the most enjoyable part of the journey, to work on that and present it to everyone else.
Really good. I guess all of you are talking about wonderful profile element times. I would just say that when I got the admit letter, that was the happiest time. But I do understand. Yeah, yeah. Dhaval, what about you?
I'd say the profile building part. Like I did not have a great GPA, so Shikha ma'am actually was in charge of my profile building. So she guided me along the way to build my profile in such a way that it stands out from the
Yeah.
rest of the
And
competition.
it does. Yeah.
So that was the main thing that I really gained from the Center for Career Development.
All right. And Anand, even though you did join us fairly late in the process, What would you say was the one big
Yeah,
takeaway?
since I was there, just mainly for the application process, I'd say like I'd miss Rahul the most because Rahul is one my counselor. He helped me with my applications and throughout the entire process, he's been like a friend. It wasn't really anything like a business
Exactly.
relationship. He's been quite friendly with me, and when it came to my essays, he gave me direct feedback. He's like wherever I was wrong, where I could do better, or how good if it was good enough. And yeah, honestly, I think I would miss him the most out of everything.
Yeah, I guess there are a few superstars who have commonly worked with all of you. Rahul, I think, has worked with also Rashmi. Yeah, and Tanya also, if I'm not very wrong. Shikha ma'am has again obviously worked with three or four of you. I would think that Dhaval, Rahul has worked with you also. Fantastic. So again, and that is the idea that we would want you because this is a stressful process, as Manan was describing in the start. Right from shortlisting universities to filling forms and doing all the intricacies, it is a stressful process. So the idea is to, of course, have a more friendly engagement to ease you through it. And of course, the last question, and this is fairly open ended for everyone. Any tips, any advice, any guidance that you'd want to share with people, right? And this can be fairly open ended. It could be related to profile building, related to applications, or general life advice, right? Anything. Let's start with Rashmi. Yeah. Anything that you want to share, and you can, yeah.
I think mainly you should have to keep your focus straight that what is it that you exactly want, and then work to the steps that would bring you to achieve that thing. Mainly that.
Very, yeah, quite true, quite true. Dhaval, what about you?
Um, I'd say that start early. Like if you want to go into the September intake, start
Yeah.
1 to 1.5 year before that. It'll give you enough time to for your exams, for your profile, for your essays, everything.
All right. Spoken like a true career counselor, Dhaval. Tanya, what about you?
Mine would be don't give up. It might seem hard at the beginning, but you will always make it out of it. And yeah.
Very good, Manan.
I'd say just be aware of what's happening. Do your own research as well, and because ultimately it's your decision as much help as you get from outside. So you should know
Exactly.
where you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. And Anand, what about you? I think you're
Yeah,
muted,
I
man.
mean, since I'm going for the undergrad, so I'm not at a master's level. But I'd say that number one, no matter what people say, keep your grades up because that is definitely it's something definitive. And if you're taking counseling, I'd say there are no stupid questions. There are no big questions. I think there are more number of small questions that matter more. So just ask
Exactly.
away at that point.
Yeah. All right. I guess this was wonderful. And honestly, you guys gave really, really good advice, right? Stay focused, start early. Don't get too intimidated in the beginning. Ask the stupid questions. Do your own research, become self-sustainable. These are all very, very wonderful things that people should remember. All right, guys. I think that you can drop off now. It was really, really wonderful speaking with you. I would now like to talk about you guys. So it's good that you can take a break and drop off. It was really wonderful speaking with you, as it has been wonderful working with you, not just for me, but the entire team. And I think we do have some work still to do. We will be working with you on your visas and things like that. And I think that, yeah, we will all meet together for a big party in 2-3 months before we send you guys off. So, yeah, I think it was wonderful speaking with you. Don't be surprised if you find new LinkedIn requests or also maybe Instagram follow requests, right? So you never know who watches these. So have a very, very good time. It was wonderful speaking with you. And we'll just cover a few stories for the next 10 to 15 minutes for the audience. Thanks, guys. Take care. All right. Thank you, Ribu. So we will now be sharing some success stories. Some of the because right now the admission cycle for 2022 admissions have just gotten over, which is to say that universities have kind of started releasing their admits. Whilst some UK universities and Australian universities are accepting masters level applications, so now most of the undergraduate and graduate applications are done. And this is also reflected in the fact that admissions have started coming in from different destinations, right? So we just want to show you some of our leading undergraduate and graduate profiles. And of course, these are not all our profiles. There are wonderful students, wonderful stories that we cannot obviously capture because there's so many of them. But these are some of the very unique profiles coming from different walks of life, taking different subjects, and then getting very, very, very good admits, right? So we just want to show you so that if you see yourself in any of these, if you see yourself as a CS student or a business student or a mathematics student, this can well be a map for you, right? In terms of what you should do to, of course, get in. And of course, if there's any questions along those lines, we continue to take that. So, but yeah, Ribu, we can start with the undergraduate section for now. Yeah, next please. Yeah, so again, for CS students, you see the profile theme being the intersection of CS psychology and CS to develop inclusive technologies. These would probably lead to admissions into places like Hong Kong University, University of Maryland, Penn State, and so on. So yeah, these would be universities that he's gotten into. Let's look at some of the key profile highlights, right? Yeah. Again, research papers. And again, these are things that you have heard candidates talk about live a few minutes ago, right? What are the things that have helped them? Research papers, social projects, volunteer engagements. You can see how students have done different engagements with different, organizations of different scale, right? Be it social work or kind of for-profit internships. Next, please. Again, this is a slightly different profile. Somebody who's going for business management, entrepreneurship. If you're interested in these subjects, again, if you're going for a business course, a lot of your focus is on entrepreneurship, right? So you have to kind of prove your efficiency, you have to prove your quality, you have to prove your ability in entrepreneurship. And that is what you see in this profile in the next slide, right? You see that the student has started a small business of her own in a very niche field, which is, sell. Ribu, next slide, please. Which is selling tie and dye commodities, on Instagram, and developing a social project, doing multiple social work engagements, school leadership projects, and so on. So if you're going for a course like business management, it's very important that you establish yourself as a manager slash entrepreneur slash person who can create value in society, right? And again, as Dhaval very rightly said, it's very important to start off early. So if you take a couple of years, you can see the kind of profile that is coming up. Next, please. Again, a different field altogether, right? Mathematics, not something like a business or a CS field, but a very more abstract field, right? And again, the theme here is using scientific education as a tool and as a contributor for development, right? And here are the main profile elements. Even though the quantitative thing seems less, but the quality here is very, very important, right? So, of course, Mir, in addition to doing all of, next slide, please, Ribu. In addition to doing all of these things, Mir was also a very important contributor in his schools. Ribu, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. He was a very important contributor in his school's music society and music clubs. That is something that we have not mentioned here. But again, the two main things here is that starting off a social project to kind of teach mathematics in a creative way using music, and doing research internships at NSUT and the Directorate of Education. Next, please. Yeah. Again, this is a separate field altogether. This is an engineering student, right? Different from a typical CS student. This is computer science engineering. Again, like really good admits, University of California. California for engineering is probably one of the best outcomes that can arise. And the profile theme here is using technology to improve access to education and skill development. And you can see the profile highlights here. Next, please, Rimu. Again, I think this was Tanya was making this point, right? That it's very important to have a well-rounded of project. In addition to doing well in your select field, which is either sustainable engineering for her or CS engineering for Akshat, it's also important to develop yourself from a multi-lensed folk perspective, right? Doing different kinds of activities to have an overall great profile. And again, that would include things like social projects, internships, developing your own literary pieces, again, being active in sports, being active in theater and performing arts, and so on and so forth, right? So these, I would say, are extremely positive steps that you can take as of now. Next, please. Yeah. Again, another different kind of subject matter, biology, another of the abstract sciences here. Uh, Again, you see top universities like Berkeley and San Diego, UCLA as being top destinations. And Khushi has also secured some very, very good admits, right? Of course, she couldn't be here today. But Imperial College London, UC San Diego, these are amazing institutes for research and practical engagement in biology, right? Can we see her profile elements, please? Yeah. again doing a summer school at UC Berkeley, developing a thorough research paper, developing a social project. So these are some of the key elements that you would see as common points, right? But however, even though these are common things like social projects, research papers, community service, the kind of specialization that has been provided to each of these, right? The kind of specialized social project that each student has, the kind of specialized internship that each student has, and how that is very much related to their background, to their skills, and to their aspirations, right? Linking all these things is a very important process, and that's kind of our specialization. That's the unique value that we add and that we drive, right? And that is how we take this forward. Next, please. Yeah. Next. Again, these are a couple of our previous year students who have gotten. You understand that their application process and their admissions are ultimately over. So we have a good kind of overview of how things have been. Next, please. Yeah. So again, these are kind of a like a long form description of activities. Dibu, can we go to the graduate profiles now? Yeah. So again, these are some students that we will be discussing, kind of across different functional, different specializations. You would have, of course, seen a few of them on the Zoom call some time ago. But yeah, this is again mostly business students, but you also see a few non-business and liberal arts students here, right? But yeah, next please. Again, the stage, wonderful guy. He's from Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce. Currently, he's working at KPMG as an analyst, and he had a fairly decent GRE score. We're looking for top universities in the UK primarily, and of course some outside. And the best admission that we got was in Imperial College London. And we'll see a few of the key profile elements, so you can also kind of emulate these things when you're developing. Next, please, Ribu. Yeah. So you see three research papers published, and one under an internship at the GST network, which is a government body. Then doing two research papers under professors. Again, guys, for graduate admissions, doing internship, you doing research work under your college professors is a very very big plus point. So definitely take that up as an active thing that you're participating in. Then again, leadership in college fests and social work. That's again something common that you see in cross profiles, right? Next, please. Yeah, again, Jatin Bhatnagar, similar Imperial College London for a finance course. A similar range of GRE score 322. Similar background also. Next, please. And again, you do see similar kind of profile element also. So if there's a system to this, guys, right? If you follow the system, if you follow the process, then you will get good admits, because the process is that you do profile, you build a profile which is multifaceted, coming from different lenses and is covering different elements, right? And if you do that, then covering and again combine that with well written essays and a good application that is reflecting your profile, you do see admits coming in. And again, if, for context, Imperial is ranked 7th in the world, which is at par with a place like Harvard or Stanford and so on. Next, please. Again, Rashmi, you just heard from her. MPhil in economics and philosophy, Cambridge. I would say the best admit this year, right? Because Cambridge is the best. Like I would say, one of the best institutes in the world. That's undeniable. Next, please. And again, this is the kind of profile that we would want to develop, right? Social projects, research papers, uh, and so on. Ribu, can we go to the last couple of slides, please? Where we kind of have all our admits placed towards the end. Yeah, because again, these are kind of monotonous. They've seen this. Yeah. All right, yeah. So these are the top institutes that our students have gotten admitted in, right? And again, this is not one student or two students. We have about few students who get into these institutes every year. And if you would think about it, these all of them fall in the top 30, top 25, top 40 in the world, and across different countries, and so on and so forth, right? Uh, yeah. So basically, yeah, that is it. You see UC Berkeley, UCLA, UT Austin, Cornell in the US, King's, LBS, Imperial, Cambridge in the UK, Waterloo, UBC, Toronto in Canada, Eindhoven, Delft, Amsterdam in Netherlands, Sciences Po in France. So you see this expertise being kind of multifaceted, covering different countries and different course options. Because even in the students who we were talking to today, you had somebody going in for economics and philosophy, which is a very humanities, liberal arts driven field. Tanya, who is going for engineering and sustainable energy, is of course a very STEM-driven field. Manan and Dhaval both going for business management courses. So, our expertise is extensive, expansive, covering different elements and covering different countries. Next, please. And yeah, please sign up, stay tuned. We do a very informative webinar with you every week, and we thoroughly enjoy that meeting with you every Saturday. So do follow our social media accounts for regular content. We do publish informative pieces on admission requirements on foreign universities, Indian universities, application requirements, and that this YouTube is just a repository of so much useful information. So I would say that these are all good career resources that you should follow and stay updated with. And of course, you can get in touch with us directly for a more individualized and personal session. Next, please, Ribu. We saw so many students here talking about how wonderful it was interacting with us, interacting with our team, in terms of how we helped them in this journey, in this process. And we love doing that. All of us working here are extremely passionate about education. We are passionate about helping students. So it's just more than a project or something that we do for a living here, right? This is our something that we would want to build up thoroughly.
Great. I think that was a great show, Vijit, and I'm getting one or two SMSs and a WhatsApp messages on my mobile also that students enjoyed and they learned a lot of things, and they were enthused that yes, people with any background, any socioeconomic background, don't think that my socioeconomic background is like this. You can achieve anything in the world provided you set your mind to it, provided you make a plan and work at it. I mean, do a lot of hard work, guys. If you have to reach at the top, you just have to fight and just reach up on the top. I wish you all the best. And in case you have any queries, any suggestions you need, you want to understand the exact process of profile building, study abroad, or even Indian applications, like how do you crack the top institutes, you can be in touch with us. We provide the best career counseling, aptitude testing, profile building, and study abroad services. I wish you all the best, students. Do well. Take care. Bye bye.